Hello, everyone. Happy holidays, greetings, and welcome one and all to episode number 21 right here at Final Boss TV. I am your host, Adam K, aka Bay, and tonight we have a double-header YouTube feature for you tonight. A special lore and music episode for you guys. We do have all the class episodes that are usually our bread and butter. However, we like to break it up a little bit sometimes with some specials. And tonight would be one of those specials. So, we're going to be talking with Nobble the Noble and Silver Latomi today. We also have world premieres from them both. We have a special video, a thank you video from Latomi to her awesome fans. And we also have a teaser of the video that Nobble will be releasing right after the show. But before we get into all of that, let's go around and see all the festive Final Boss crew right now. Anna, how are you doing, Anna? Hello.
Doing well. Merry Christmas, even though it's warm enough here in North Carolina that I keep forgetting it's December.
Yeah, everyone was talking about
pouring down rain though. I was watching
Yeah.
the game and then I felt really bad. I have a couple friends who are at the Panthers game right now.
Yeah.
The sky opened up and I was like, "Oh, you poor people." So
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's
I'm
totally
doing
all right.
pretty well.
It's fun to see all the different climates that are happening right now around everybody. But all right, and joining us as well, the lovely Silver Latomi. Hello, Latomi.
Hi there.
I see she's competing with me for the awesomest background on the show right now. I think it's.
I built this up just for you. I feel
okay.
like this isn't a competition, but it's just me trying to honor you, and I'd really
Okay.
appreciate it if you stop.
Oh,
Just stop right now.
okay. I got you. That's fine. My Pikachu is bigger than your Pikachu.
Oh, that's fine. Your Pikachu is welcome to be bigger than my Pikachu.
Awesome. And then from across the pond, he has the Christmas hat on. Nobble the Noble. Hello, sir.
He does. Good evening, mate.
Yeah, it's awesome. I was going over what I was going to put on the show, but I didn't want to take away his thunder by having the Christmas hat on. He can have that honor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Perfectly awesome. This is going to be a fun little show for everybody here. So welcome. Woo! All right, we did it. We got here. So
Yes.
it has been a pretty awesome year for everyone here involved. We'll have a lot more to say about that a little later, but all of us here, the Final Boss crew, Nobble and Latomi, have had a pretty amazing 2013. And we all have a lot going on for you guys in 2014 to keep bringing you guys awesome stuff. But that's what we're going to go into tonight. We're really going to go into the background of all this stuff. We talked to Alex of Fat Boss TV a while ago, and it's a different type of YouTube that these guys both do. Obviously, Latomi does, you do parodies, covers, and your own personal works, like original works of
Yeah.
songs, correct?
Yes, I'd mostly all the music side. I've done a couple vlogs as well, but music's my focus.
Yep. And then we all know Nobble pretty much for your lore videos on World of Warcraft. However, you also do Let's Plays and other kind of things on the YouTubes, correct?
Yes, but most of my subscribers are there for the lore videos, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But we're going to go back into where they got started in this whole charade, what they have planned for the future, and how they do what they do for all you guys out there. So it should be a lot of fun. A little different take from when we interviewed Alex about how to make boss kill videos and stuff. So this should be good. But I want to go around the table here real quick. What do you guys have going on right now? How is the YouTube's been for you guys in 2013?
It's been great, man. It's been
Yeah.
mind-blowingly good, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hate
It's,
you so much, Noble.
Well, I'm sorry. I can't help it.
You're not sorry at all.
No, I'm not. I'm very happy about it. And yeah, it's been an amazing year. I've been with YouTube since 2007. And especially the last year, a lot of people have been joined on the channel, and we've increased with about 80,000 subscribers, something like that. So yeah, it's
Wow.
mind-blowing
yeah.
here. Yeah.
Yeah. And what about you, Latomi?
I haven't increased 80,000 subscribers,
Oh, well,
but it's been a really good year. I've actually just really been enjoying working with a bunch of people and meeting other new artists that have been around. So it's good. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. And then, Anna, I know you and I are right now. We're in that weird place with finishing up this crazy tier right now. Are you going to raid tonight?
Questionable. Actually, I was having that discussion about 10 seconds ago with
Yep.
my raid leader. We don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't really want to raid in a guild that can raid through Christmas. We're close to having the roster to make it happen. I'm sitting here debating whether I'm going to cancel on my family tonight to go to raid or whether I'm going to go to a family event. So I don't know. We'd like to raid. We'd really like to raid through Christmas, but I don't know if it's going to happen. But we have gotten a lot of really good work done on Garrosh, and it's been a really enjoyable fight to do so far. I don't really want to miss any of it, and I look forward to killing him and being done, even though that'll mean 6 months of farm.
Yeah, it's terrible. You and I come at this, and it's just like, 6 months of farm, but we have friends of ours that have been already on farm now for 2 to 3 months.
Well, yeah, I know, but at least for my guild, like I don't spend 2 or 3 months on farm usually.
Yeah.
I like a little bit of farm so that I can have a break, but I don't usually spend like the vast majority of the expansion on farm.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. This tier's been fairly satisfying once we got through the first 8 or 9 kind of boring bosses. The rest were pretty satisfying, and Garrosh has been a lot of fun so far. But it's going to be a long wait for Warlords. It's going to be a really long wait.
Yeah.
I don't really want that wait. I don't really want that wait to begin.
It's going to be a weird wait because we're used to the intermission tiers and whatnot, but
yeah, that was an interesting decision for them to push back a release and not have anything planned in between them.
They have hinted at something that's going to happen, but obviously it might be the pre-patcher for 6.0 with the event, and I'm sure Noble has covered what he thinks might happen, but we don't know exactly yet. The book is coming out. When's Christy Golden's book coming out, by the way?
Don't think they've given release dates for it yet.
Yeah,
unfortunately, but you can but you can expect it. It's going to lead into the next expansion. The story that's going to be told is about the trials of Garrosh, and everybody's going to be in that trial, and they're going to explain how everybody's guilty, and it's going to lead into the next expansion. So my guess would be 2 to 3 months before it, something like that.
Yeah,
who knows?
I was thinking about the same thing too. It has to have enough precursor time before it comes out that we can actually get it digested before we get the expansion. But we'll see. We're not gonna have the ICC layover though, Anna. So we'll be okay on that regard.
I hope so. I mean, I certainly hope that you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just glad the very last tier wasn't like a Dragon Soul where the bosses were very disappointing and you came out of it with a sour taste in your mouth. I was really satisfied with the last couple of bosses. I found Paragons to be pretty fun, if frustrating, and I found Siegecrafter to be really amazing. And like I said, I've enjoyed Garrosh. So that's no matter how long we spend on farm, I think I'll probably remember Siege fondly, and that means a lot to me.
Yeah, no, it'll definitely be good. I think we talked with our other raiders that have been on the show before. The best end tier boss of this expansion is gonna have to be Lei Shen.
Yeah, but we knew that, and I don't think that means Siege was necessarily bad. But Lei Shen was amazing. It's gonna take them a very long time to outdo Lei Shen, in my opinion.
Absolutely. So we're gonna jump right into this. Enough small talk from us. We're gonna go right into our awesome guest. So I wanted to always bring up, because you never know where you start in this whole thing, and to get it out to all of your amazing fans. So when did you start gaming, or when did you know that gaming was going to be a part of your life? Because the content you create obviously lends itself to playing all these awesome video games. So Latomi, I'm going to start with you. Where'd you start? Console game, family member influence? What turned you on to gaming?
I started with a couple console games when I was probably around middle school, because when I was really young, my parents were we weren't exactly rich, so it was go play outside with the ants and figured that out. So getting into console gaming took a little while for me, and then from there, going over into computer gaming took a good while as well. And I didn't even get started on WoW until my first year of college.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was dating a gentleman at the time, and every couple nights or so, he'd be like, "I can't hang out tonight. I've got a raid." I'm like,
"What does that mean?" Yeah. Okay.
What are you doing that's more important than me? And then he's like, "Well, do you want to try? I'll let you create a character, or you could do a trial account." I was like, "I'll try a trial account." And then by the time I reached level 19 and 99%, I was like, "How much is this game?"
So you were hooked.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really short. It did not take them long to get me addicted.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Level 19.
That's how it always starts.
Yep.
I know. Devious.
What did you first play? What was your first character?
Shaman.
I
have a
Good
troll
choice.
shaman who I continued after the trial, and that troll shaman grew up, and then after... It was great. Her name started as Aliray, And then because she was an elemental shaman at level 80, because I came in Lich King, she became Captain Planet. And then we super hopped and faction changed, and she became a Draenei. And then we'd gone to Moonguard, which is really heavy RP, and so they're really big on their naming rules. And as part of their naming rules, like, you can't have Captain in the name. So it made me change your name again. And
Really?
I don't know, it's so nice of them. But now she's actually still one of my main characters, so.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't, like, get knocked to the wayside or something like that. I have my original character, my druid, still kind of sits on the loading screen. But, he's still there. It's beautiful.
And did you start in the Burning Crusade, or did you start in Classic?
For me or Latomi?
Latomi, which was shaman.
Oh, I started in Wrath.
Wrath, yep.
By the
Wrath.
time I was level 80,
okay.
Lich King was a boss you could do.
Oh.
Right, all right.
Yeah, I'm pretty young to the game.
That's,
A Wrath baby. I get called
Rookie.
that too, and then
Anna
we
does.
were in raid the other day, and somebody was talking about Wrath babies, and someone else in the raid said, "It's been 2 expansions. The Wrath babies are all grown up now." I mean,
yeah.
we've been playing this game. I started playing in vanilla, and I quit a couple of times. I started playing for serious in Wrath, which is why I'm kind of a Wrath baby. But I mean, we've been playing this game since 2009. Like, let's be honest, that's a lot of years.
Right, it's
Yeah.
been a good amount of time. And then, like, when I'd started, by the time I got to 80, I got in a guild and I was like, raiding's really cool. And I didn't realize that we were bad raiders. And I was really proud when we killed Lich King 2 weeks before Kata.
Hey.
Hey, you killed him. That's
least
what
killed him,
matters.
Yeah.
And then after that, there was another server change, and we got into a more progression-oriented raiding guild. And so by Kata, I was already looking down on people, and I was like, what do you mean you didn't get out of that fire? I figured that out, like, half a minute into the fight, and we didn't even look over the mechanics. So
Yeah.
Looking down on people is a core part of being a WoW raider. I'm glad that you had that experience.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's a thumbs up. That's an approval rating. There you go. There you go. Good stuff. Yep. No, that's totally okay. And then what about you, Mr. Novel? What did you start with gaming? So which,
With
console
gaming?
game? Yeah, with
Damn.
gaming. Family member influence? What happened with you?
I started gaming when I could hold a controller, way back with the NES system. If you remember Duck Hunt, I was the little guy with his red pistol aiming it at the TV screen and killing all the
Yeah.
ducks, and I was the man. And after that, didn't really play much. I mean, we had Mario Kart, we had the Super Nintendo system, the N64, and when I hit high school, at least in Dutch middelbare school, so that's around the age of 12, gaming
Yeah.
really quit for me until I was done with that school and I found Star Wars Galaxies. I played that with a buddy of mine
Yeah.
over the summer. Star Wars Galaxies, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I kind of got bored with that. They introduced the Jedi claws, they introduced flight ships in the sky, and I had spent an entire summer playing that game. And he came up to me, my buddy, and he said, "Look, this is World of Warcraft, man. Look at this trailer." And I was looking on it, and I saw this dwarf with the bear in the snow. I was like, wow, what is this?
Yep.
And at first, I wasn't really interested. I'm like, I've just spent a summer on an MMO. Do I really want to do this? But the next day, I was there with him playing this beautiful game. Yeah.
Yeah, the original launch trailer came out like well
Amazing.
beyond the launch of actual World of Warcraft, and I remember that just like the goosebumps, because all I was playing back then was like I heard friends playing EverQuest and stuff, and like Dark Age of Camelot, and I was like, meh, I want to play Final Fantasy VII, But and then that trailer came out, and it's just like, I'm done, sold. This is my life.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
awesome, man. And because of that dwarf and the bear, I was like, I'm gonna roll a hunter because people will have to attack the pet instead of me, and that gives me an advantage. Little did I know that they could just ignore it and just go for me, and that the hunter was really buggy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome.
No, I totally understand. So, and like with Anna, we both started way back in the day. I took a break sometime in the Cataclysm swing, but I started back in vanilla as well too. So, I've been playing this game now. What is that? 9 years?
Yeah, I don't
9
have any of
years.
like the vanilla and BC rating memories, which is a shame because I really, really regret missing that. But I definitely played this game quite a bit in
Yeah.
vanilla and some in BC. I just kept quitting because I was in school at that time, and the idea of rating seriously while I was in school or playing the game on a schedule, it didn't even occur to me. It was only in Wrath that I started, and that's when I started my Paladin, and that's kind of the class that I have always felt closest to, and that's when I got really into the game. But
Well,
all
back
those
then
other
you
classes,
couldn't.
Yeah.
You couldn't really raid without giving up your real life back in Classic, and Burning Crusade kind of became easier, but not really. Wrath of the
Yeah.
Lich King was really when those doors opened up, and unless you were willing to sacrifice some serious amount of real life, you were not raiding.
Now,
Yep.
especially when it was 40 people, and you really needed 40 people, if not more than that, because missing one or two would change fights drastically.
Yep.
Like, it was a huge numbers game back in the day. And as much as I have, like, fond memories of Molten Core and Vanilla Nax, I also don't. Because having to have 6 tanks... What was this? So,
Well, I mean, my guild has been around since vanilla, and I'll look back through their like forum posts and stuff from years and years and years ago, and they've always rated pretty much on the same schedule. So, I mean, obviously, a 3-night-a-week guild meant something different back in vanilla and BC than a hardcore 3-night guild means now. But I do look back through those days, and I have friends who've been in guilds that have been around forever, like EJ and Serious Casual, and they talk about the fun stuff that they did, and I'm just like, man, I missed all of these awesome stories. It's such a shame.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like I've witnessed some of the greatest rating that the game has ever offered to us. So I guess I don't regret it that much. If I had to start, I'm glad that I saw MOP rating.
oh, absolutely.
Well, I mean, those stories always leave out the bad parts of getting gear with the one class that wasn't in your team, or
Yeah.
the paladin buffs of 5 minutes, or the specific hunter spell you needed to take down one boss and you couldn't get it.
Yeah.
That's always left behind, and it's only the good stuff that they're talking about. So
And as a
it was
paladin,
fun.
it's not like I would have been tanking or DPSing. I mean,
no, you
not
would
at
be
the
in
beginning.
the corner healing and,
I would have been
resing
in the
people.
corner.
Yep.
I'm not a
Yep.
healer. That's not what I do.
Those DI out of combat reses.
No, DI was great though. They still had DI in Wrath.
Yeah.
I remember that spell.
DI was good. Oh, Razor Gore. If any of you remember back in the day, you could DI and then bug out Razor Gore, and then nothing would spawn, and then you just get the boss.
Yep.
That was fun for a little while. But rest in peace, Divine Intervention.
So let's hear a little bit more about y'all's gaming history. I'd like to hear an epic moment from your early gamer life. Tell us a story.
Novel, you go first.
Okay, my best moment in game to this date is finishing the Hunter epic questline. Back in Classic, you had this
Very nice.
green leaf in Molten Core that you could get, and there was a whole questline where you needed to kill Onyxia for like the string, and you needed to go to Winter Spring to get something for your quiver. But the quest itself, you had to kill 4 demons all across the land. But the bad part was that you couldn't use your pets. If you did, they would despawn. If somebody would help you by attacking that demon, even if it was a random stranger, they would despawn and you have to wait 2 hours again. And these demons, they had these specific abilities. Like one, you needed to kite around, slowly kill. The other, you had to melee, otherwise he would kill you. The other, you had to do this or that. And once I finally got him down with getting my Demon Slayer enchant, because the Demon Slayer enchant gave you extra power against demons that nobody uses these days. That was actually value for you. So, to this date, finishing that questline, going to Felwood and seeing those spirits, that's my most epic moment ever. Yeah.
Awesome. Is that, side topic, is that actually still in the game? Can you still
No,
do
they
the
removed
quest?
it. They removed it.
Aww.
I
Such a
love
shame.
that class-specific stuff.
I
I
remember
have
doing the priest
not
one
so
for a couple
fond.
of friends.
I remember doing all the shaman,
The totem ones.
the totem
I remember
ones?
those too.
and it's kind of funny because I'd made a new totem or a new shaman for like just before I think Kata or something, and forgot about her, and I got like halfway through a totem quest. When I came back to her in Cataclysm, like they'd removed the totem quest. You didn't need to do them anymore. You just got them. But the totem itself was still in my bags, and I couldn't complete the quest, and it didn't let me
no.
destroy it. And eventually, I was like, I don't need 2 shamans.
Oh.
Oh, I just have these awful memories of I leveled a horde shaman and I kept on getting lost going to find the fire guy. Anybody who's leveled a horde shaman who remembers the totem quests, the fire one was completely impossible to find. He was like up on a hill outside of Orgrimmar, and there was like jagged stuff in the
There was like a
ground.
little path somewhere that you could not
Yes.
like up this mountain, and eventually you're just like, what?
Yeah.
Where is? You can still find that path. That path still exists.
They just removed the quest guy.
Yeah.
That was one of the many things that I did when I was a noob in WoW. Was I got lost all of the time, walking around everywhere. I would
course.
say that the Barrens map was pretty bad back in the day. Ashenvale though was absolutely the worst. Before they completely redid the map, Ashenvale was completely it was completely misleading. Everything on the map was in the wrong place. You would pull the map up, and your character would be like on where there are supposed to be mountains, and there are not mountains there. Hated that place.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That makes me remember, like, because I used to play a druid back in vanilla, and you had to do the quests to get your different forms, and you had to find the two parts of that. You had to find the two parts of that medallion to become, you know, the manatee. And one was easy because it was in Darkshore off the coast, right by the sunken ship. That's okay, that's good. But the other one was like a cryptic riddle that ended up being off the coast of of Westfall in like a crab underneath a thing, and they didn't have like mounts and stuff back in there, and like at level anyway, you would get the sea lion form. But it's fond memories thinking back. But I'm sure when we were playing it at the time, we were like, "Where is this? I don't."
And at the time, we didn't have any fancy things like Wowhead or whatnot. We had Thoughtbot, where you were dependent on people to comment, and you were hoping that somebody told you.
Yeah.
Alakazam, yeah?
Yeah, Alakazam was a thing. That was a thing. Thoughtbot existed. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I just don't.
You typed in the search?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
It was a database.
And then you could read the comments.
Totally forgotten about that.
Yeah. Man, oh man.
Wow.
Memories.
I feel less old now, or less video game young now.
Okay, that you remember this?
Yeah, that I actually remember Thoughtbot.
Fair enough. That's fine. Thoughtbot for the win.
I must have used it.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's always when people say that the game is so easy now. And I always remember, but keep in mind that we didn't have these resources that we have these days. I mean, we had a little bit of communication, but these massive databases of data mined information, everything chewed out for you. That wasn't back then. You had to discover it yourself or ask someone, and otherwise you were, dead in the water.
Yep.
Yeah, when you ask a question in any general chat now, the answer is like, why don't you just go Google it?
Yeah. Just go to Wowhead. Something. Yeah. You spoiled kids, and you and your quest logs in game, and your
quests that make
guides.
Sense and are linked together.
I know, really.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's really where I want my difficulty in the game. Like really obscurely placed quest givers who are in the wrong places on maps. Like, yeah, that's what I find really fun.
Yeah.
It's like you go play Star Wars: The Old Republic and go level on Hoth, and you're like, man, this is really enjoyable. I just love all of this running around that I'm doing. This is definitely what I find most fun in the game. No, give me intelligently linked quests with like cool stuff that I can discover that's, that's off the beaten track, and that's fun. But give me quests that are at least linked together and are enjoyable to do instead of an hour of frustration while I try to find something. That's not where I find difficulty to be that enjoyable.
It's just the older model of questing because it was basically built off of how EverQuest was. EverQuest was just like you just ran around and found people and were like, hey, there are some chickens over there. Can you go kill them for me? Because I am super lazy. But that's how it used to be. So when they revamped
I just find it really funny when people are like, man, quests were so much harder back then. And I'm like, really? Harder? Do you understand what this word hard means? Do you know what difficult means? Because I think you should go find a dictionary.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, that's often a mistake made. Time required and difficulty. That's often a mistake made.
Yep. So, just a little bit of a tangent here. Outside of your MMO life, what kind of games did you play like before then? Were you an RPG person, a shooter, adventure type game person? Like, what did you? I mean, I know Noble said like Duck Hunt, but that was like forever. That was forever ago. But like, what else? What kind of games do you remember playing a lot before you got into World of Warcraft? Mario Kart, yeah.
Mario Kart, man. We had so many nights that we were just. Before you go to a party, you have a little before party, and we would just play Mario Kart. And when we came back, we would play Mario Kart, and I would be, kind of drunk, and I would still be number one just by playing it. It was awesome. Mario Kart and Mario 64.
Like, oh yeah, I can drink and play Mario Kart.
It was awesome, and they would make bets. Like we had these guys who had to stay sober, and I would make bets with them. Like I can still beat you, and they wouldn't believe me. I won. And of course, Mario Party, where you had that silly game where you had to rotate the controller until you had blisters on your hand.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man.
No, please stop. Ah! That's just like terrible, like old memories. Yep.
Yeah, but N64, man, that was my gaming before this.
Yep, N64. Gotcha. What about you, Latomi?
So I either played I played Kingdom Hearts pretty obsessively for a while there. That was my favorite.
Yeah, that's good girl.
And then, but before that, when I was playing with my friends, she had a Sega Dreamcast, and we played Soul Calibur.
Soul
And so I ended up
Calibur,
getting
yeah.
the later Soul
Back
Calibur
in
games
the
as well.
day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Still love
When you
Soul
s-
Calibur.
When you said you played Kingdom Hearts, that like warmed my heart because I started on JRPGs before I got into MMOs. Like I basically just went through as many JRPGs as I could find on the PS2, and that was my gaming experience before I got into
They're
MMOs.
beautiful games.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts is
I
amazing.
still need to get
definitely.
Ni no Kuni from someone.
I bought it and I played a couple hours of it, and it's stunning and beautiful, and I just haven't found the time. You're reminding me I should
Oh.
really go play it.
My friend had it, and I watched him play it, and I played it a little bit, and I've seen like Jesse Cox apparently makes videos of it, and I'm like, I need it. I need it now in my house.
In my house. Yep. Absolutely. So, and then your transition into MMO world was just with WoW, or what did you have? I mean, Noble said Galaxies, which, you know, thumbs up from across the pond. I love that game. Was there anything else that you guys dabbled in before World of Warcraft kind of swayed you over?
I just had World of Warcraft, and then
Just
people
World of
convinced me to later games.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing video games on the PC, of course, but before WoW, I had not even played a single Blizzard game, to be honest. Not even Warcraft 3 or
Yeah, me
StarCraft
neither.
or whatnot. It's really WoW that took me in. And then after WoW, I started playing all these games, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I never played a Blizzard game. I never played an MMO before WoW. WoW was kind of my gateway drug into MMOs, and then
Gateway
then
drug.
I
Gateway
but then I
drug is a
started
great
Then I
word.
started playing. I've tried most of the MMOs that have come out recently, and so because I know that this is the style of game that I like. But I totally sympathize with that. WoW was my first game of its type as well.
Yeah. Okay.
For many of us, I think.
Fair enough. Maybe I'm just like the old man in the room here because I dabbled in a lot of other ones. Like I said, I played Galaxies a bunch. With that, I remember some Dark Age of Camelot, for like a friend's house, and then there was, oh no, it wasn't RuneScape, but it was one other. I can't think of the name right now.
Ragnarok
this
Online.
is
We've
terrible.
discussed this before.
Ragnarok Online. I think that was what. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
I didn't
enough.
count that. I didn't count that as an MMO.
No.
I guess maybe it was. I played the beta, the alpha and the beta.
Yeah. So that's fine. But then when World of Warcraft came, and that was at a great time because Star Wars Galaxies had died basically with that Jump to Lightspeed patch, which Noble talked about. So it just like it was eye opening. But I did play all the other Warcraft games. I remember playing Warcraft 1, the one they had to load up in DOS with my brother who was 4 years old at the time. I taught him how to go to DOS on Windows 95 and boot up Warcraft, and we used to play that together. Take turns doing levels and stuff with my 4-year-old brother at the time. It was awesome. But so it's been in my family for a long time now because that means it's been in the family for 17 years.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a
Long time, man.
It's a long time to think
I
about
don't think
that.
Old Man Bay is quite the right term there. You may just have to go with Grandpa Bay.
Grandpa Bay? Oh no, that's fine.
Talking about dust and all that. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, moving right along to something a little bit more modern than DOS, let's talk about how you guys got your starts on YouTube. I'd love to hear from Noble first and then Silver Latomi, but I have followed some of you guys for a very long time who are big YouTube content producers, and it wows me that y'all put out so much content all the time. So tell me how you got started. What gave you the idea?
What gave me the idea? I made my account way back in 2007, and it was mainly an idea behind it. I had some guild videos, like some guild events, and I wanted to share them with the guys. So I Googled a website, and YouTube popped up. It wasn't as big as it is today, and I just uploaded it. And at some point, I came back in Wrath of the Lich King, because I haven't been playing since Classic full time. I've had breaks in between. I came back in Wrath of the Lich King and I saw Wow Hobbs, his videos, and he was doing Wow Hobbs way of pulling, where he was pulling big groups on his paladin, he was boosting people in the dungeons, he was soloing stuff, and I'm like, that's great. When I get bored with the game, I can solo that kind of stuff. So I did. I started soloing, and I realized if I can do this, so can others. They might need a couple of pointers, they might need some tips on these kinds of problems I encountered, so this is what you can do to fix it. But overall, if someone like me can do it, they can do it. So I made guides for that, solo guides. Started uploading those and linking it on Wowhead and stuff like that. And then we hit the Mist of Pandaria beta, where I bought the year subscription and I got the key for the beta. And I really wanted to cover it. And at some point I made a video called Fedamore Destroyed, ? And this was back in the day where it was still speculation on what exactly was going to happen with Jaina, with Fedamore. Nobody knew what was going on, and it was through a video of trade chats that got me going with white hair, what might possibly be going on, what's the story behind it. So I made that video, and yeah, from there on it really blew up, and it showed me that people are very interested in lore videos. And from that moment on, I was already interested in lore since Wrath of the Lich King, so from that moment on I finished the beta, and I figured, well, why not make these lore videos? So I started doing that, and over time it grew and grew and grew and grew until we're here today. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty wild. I remember those videos too, the WoW Hob stuff. I totally remember those. And the thing about like the lore videos for me that always struck me is that you can learn so much about the game just by playing it. But really, they only put so much in your face about what's happening behind the scenes, really. So I think that's a huge draw to people. I mean, I've told you before on Skype multiple times now that like in your videos I'm like, oh, you answered a question for me that I've always kind of like wondered, but like never really like, I never like ask it. Because I'm not like, I need to know what this is. But when you hear it and then you find out that little silver lining, you're like, oh, that's what it is. So yeah, that's a really cool thing. Yep.
And specifically with Fedamore, they did such a bad job compared to what the story actually behind it is. Just a little bomb falling on Fedamore and that's it. And it had such huge implications for Jaina, for Ronan, for everybody. And all we got was a little scenario. It was really bad.
Yeah. A lot more was explained in the book, I guess, but you're not going to like expect everyone to read the book.
No,
So,
and you shouldn't expect that. You should
Exactly.
give it both. And I know that they said we wanted not to make it a big event and you're only going to use this for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But that's ridiculous because the scenarios are still available at level 90. So,
Right.
yeah, it's in my opinion, a real shame.
Yeah, that might just come down to time, honestly, because to build all that stuff in the game, it obviously takes manpower. So, yep. Well, hopefully we'll see them expound upon those big things in the future, which I know you've speculated a bunch of them already coming in Warlords, so we shall see if they really follow through on that kind of stuff. But
Well,
then,
if Mob is the setting, then we can only go up from here.
Yeah,
I mean, Mob was
Yeah.
great with storytelling.
because they had a little bit of storytelling stuff in Cataclysm, right? They had those little cutscenes, like the first time, like when you get to Ankahet and stuff like that, was a little bit of stuff, and then they came and almost introduced you to things, and you get to learn about stuff, and then they started building the scenario, storytelling kind of side of the game. Then they definitely improve each expansion. So if we're looking forward to anything like that in 6.0, that'd be awesome.
Well, yeah, well, Keda, the majority of the story, at least, is in the revamped Old Zone, and that was kind of a mistake on their part. But if you now look at the new quests that are introduced, the story behind them, it's fantastic. That flows into the end game. That's beautiful. Only a few people saw it because nobody was interested in 11 new characters anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did put in a brand new story in it.
Yep. And there's a lot to follow, too, because you really got to read all the quests and like talk to NPCs and things to find out stuff.
Can't
About,
just
like,
accept quests anymore. You have
Yeah.
to
If you
pay
really
a
want
little
to
bit of
know,
attention.
yeah, you got to really pay
I
attention.
think there was a lot of people's problems with Cataclysm with that with the final raid in Dragon Souls. I heard a lot of people at the time saying that it didn't feel like it was a big fight or anything, and like mechanics wise, it wasn't fantastic. But there actually was quite a bit of story going on. We just stopped paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Deathwing story was so bad. Deathwing is such a conniving and scheming player. He was such a badass. And what did they turn him into? A dragon that flies over, burns everybody, and just haunts you to come and kill him.
Yeah, he'd
Yeah.
fight his claws one at a time, and then finally
Oh, yeah.
with his head. That fight was just the visual design of that fight did not make it very exciting or engaging.
No, I think the fighting on him was cool, but the final encounter where he turned into just some weird tentacle beast was
Tentacle
just
wing thing.
not as
Dodge
compelling.
elementium bolts because reasons.
It almost demoralized him as this amazing villain. Now, Therion is ancient. He's been around for so long. He is incredibly powerful. He's the only full-powered dragon at the time because of the Dragon Soul. And just like, I don't know. Yep. They have a good idea. Obviously, when they're making encounters, they can't just only go like on a lore side of things because they have to actually make an encounter that is challenging and rewarding in the gamer sense. But, yep.
Sure, but even on that part, they didn't really deliver. I mean, it sounds really cool on paper, riding a dragon and beating his claws so that he falls into a pit, but it really didn't deliver, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yep, sadly. All right, so back to that question though.
Yeah, moving along. How did Latomi get started on YouTube?
So that boyfriend that got me started in World of Warcraft, a couple weeks after I was significantly addicted, he's like, by the way, my cousin makes parodies, and do you want to see some of her stuff? And I'm like, I mean, I guess people make music based on video games. It's weird, but sure, I'll watch it.
That's your.
Turns out his cousin was PvP Girl Gigi, one of the members of the A6, worked with like Nim and Decision, and I watched their stuff and I was like, wow, these are actually pretty funny. They're pretty, they glorify their characters. They have a great time. And they're just fun to listen to and fun to watch. And so then the next couple days when I was listening to the radio, I would just, instead of hearing, blame it on the girls who know what to do, I heard it, blame it on the tanks that don't know what to do. Yeah. And parody just kind of went from there.
Fair enough.
Whatever happened to Nim anyways?
He got distracted by Real Life and Real Women's.
Oh.
All right.
So
his parodies were awesome.
Real life?
His parodies were pretty excellent. He actually came back to the game fairly recently, but he hasn't said if he wants to come back to the parody world.
All right.
Well, obviously, you guys need to do a duet or something together. Get just right back on the horse.
I may or may not have. I mean, it's one of those things where when you work in large collabs, you're kind of, as an artist, you sit there and you're like, I really want to work with these people. And then when other people have done collabs, I was like, oh, during this part, I sang with Nim. Chick. So, no, I would love to have him on a real song, though.
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, you can make something together instead of just making it. Okay, fair enough.
Now, how long ago did you get started on YouTube?
3 years ago.
So you've been on YouTube for quite a while then.
For quite a little while, yeah. It's been a little crazy. And it's funny because I started by just taking videos. My YouTube channel started a couple months before I started doing WoW parodies. So, but there's like 1 or 2 videos up there from before the WoW parodies started, and they're not all that great. They're funny, but they're not all that great.
So do you do different types of videos, or do you only do sort of musical parodies?
I usually, I'm only really a singer, so I really limit myself to doing musical parodies. The couple that I've tried to put like machinima and such on, the machinimas I make are pretty bad. They're not very impressive at all. So, and I've actually lost the oh my gosh, I've lost the stuff I need to make the machinima.
The WoW model viewer thing.
Yes.
No, I actually never had WoW model viewer. I only used in-game footage from my machinima.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
So
no, but I think I know what you're talking about. The camera mod that we used to use is no longer supported in 6.0 going forward. They've stopped. Like the WoW machinima cam that I used for like a live event like over a year plus ago or whatever. I don't think there's anything that can use that anymore to make. I don't know what machinima people are making right now with that. What camera mod they're using, so they can basically GM camera.
It's a little strange because technically the machinima itself involves just using the in-game engine anyway.
Sure. To
make your videos. What people are doing a lot more now using WoW Model Viewer and Map Viewer is basically animating, but at a much smaller level. The way I used to do it is I used to play World of Warcraft on my Mac computer, and World of Warcraft has a built-in recording device for Macs. And when that broke and it stopped working very well, I realized that QuickTime has a built-in screen capture system for Mac computers.
Oh, okay.
It's totally built in. You can just be like, oh, I have QuickTime and it's the free version, and let me just hit screen capture, start recording, stop recording. And so I used to do that, but I tried to graduate out of playing video games on a Mac computer, and so I have a PC over in the other room that I actually play all my video games on now. Oh, okay. World of Warcraft is no longer on this computer, and this computer is explicitly music.
Gotcha. Alrighty. It's always interesting to see, like, because not everyone knows what's behind the veil of content creators, because everyone just thinks, like, when they release a video that it was just, like, they just did it in one day or whatever, and it's done, and it's over with, there's a lot of extra work that we're going to go into, of course, later on the show. Oh, it's just magic? You just wave your hand and your videos happen? Oh,
yep.
I'm totally wrong. I just sit in my room and I see
that's what Faye says.
It just appears on YouTube later. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just wish for it, man, and a night later it's there. It's incredible.
Wow.
We do have to pull out one of his tooth each time, though. What? I don't know how it's growing in the back.
Ooh,
yeah, put him on my pillow.
Wow.
In the morning, there's a little flash drive with the video.
Well, this is topical to the next question. I know that that perseverance is one of the qualities that I admire about y'all who make videos on a consistent basis. What keeps you doing it for so many years? I mean, especially knowing that there's a lot of competition in the WoW content creation arena. What drives you forward?
Well, for me, it has a lot to do with the reason why you start with YouTube. A lot of people come up to me and they ask me, Noble, what can you advise me if I'm going to start with YouTube? And I always say, don't go in for the YouTube fame, the YouTube money, or the viewers, because you can't say for sure that you're going to get them. Go in because you either have a passion for video making or you have a passion for the topic that you're discussing. That could be story, music, dancing, acting like an idiot, whatever you want to do. That way, no matter if you get the viewers or people hate your videos or whatnot, that way you'll always be motivated because you enjoy what you're doing. And I'm not depending on what other people might think about my videos. So that gives you a bit of freedom. Of course, it's very nice for a creator to have an audience and that people are watching your videos. That's brilliant, and I'm very happy about that. But I'm not depending on it.
For sure.
So
no,
yeah, that's...
the thing that keeps me going is usually just it's the music. I started because I heard parodies in music, because as I was listening to a song on the radio, I would hear the WoW version of it. And so I just kept doing it. And, I try to make music that makes me laugh because it tends to make other people laugh. So like the parodies that I'll be working on now, it's just like, this seems like a really funny idea to me. I'd love to see this realized. And it gets to the point where Novel's entirely right. Don't go in for the YouTube fame. Like, I didn't think I'd ever break, I think it was 5,000 subscribers was my original goal. And I've passed that by now. And so now I'm just like, oh, well, I guess I'm just making music now. This is fun. But having the subscribers is definitely an honor system. When you hit the subscribe button, what you're saying is, I like what you do, and I want to see more from you. And that's a huge compliment for a creator.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's very humbling to see that people actually like what you're doing, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. It's the only ways. It's just how the internet is sort of at stage right now, where that's one of the best ways to connect that you're supporting. There are obviously like new ways cropping up, like there are outside things like with Kickstarter or Patreon or other ways like that you can literally connect in that kind of way. But there's only so much information that content creators can get feedback from, our fans. Obviously, there's social networking as well as that too. But when you take it all into account, there's a lot to take to take in, because there's so much you can get. It's not always you can always get back to all of your fans, so it's really good to be able to do that. I mean, this platform that we're building here with Final Boss TV is sort of hopefully creating a avenue for that for you guys and for the awesome players we bring on. So, because not all the time that there is a way for you guys to connect so with your community. So, the after show is more for that right now. Obviously, the main shows that we have here at Final Boss, for all the people that are new here, are built around interviewing our guests and bringing you up to speed on all their different, stuff behind the scenes, or bringing up topics that you may have been curious about, and then obviously asking Q&A, which you can submit questions to us either on Twitter, or there's a button down below, or on our website, and that, of course, button is down below. But we also have an after show that will come back on after the main show, and we'll just talk to you guys just, carte blanche, just candidly right from the chat. So you guys stick around for that, just to be sure. And again, if you were here for the beginning, we have a brand new song from Silver Lotomi to premiere on the show, and we also have the teaser intro for Noble's next video that will be released after the show is over today. So, I know there's a lot of new folks that are here that might not know who we are because they've come here because of Lotomi or Noble's awesome videos they've posted about talking about the show, which we really appreciate. But just so you know,
it's cool, man. So yeah,
well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. But the next little topic on here, outside of why you keep doing it as a positive side, we talked about this in the meet and greet the other day, how you guys deal with the thin line side of the internet, because you do sort of become spotlit in a way that makes you accessible to people, like we just talked about with social media or the YouTube comment system.
Too accessible sometimes.
Exactly. So do you have any stories you're comfortable sharing that you've had to deal with, or ways that you go around or to make sure you're protecting yourself from that side of the internet?
Ms. Lotomi, please, I'm all ears. Love to find out.
I'm a super closed-eared person. When people, I mean, it's true. I'm very easy to access. If you go to any of my videos, I mean, my YouTube channel itself, you can send a message to my YouTube channel. You can send a message to my email that's listed in my YouTube channel. There's my Twitter. My Twitter direct messages are open. And then there's 2 different Facebooks that you can message. And there's even a Tumblr that you can send ask questions to. There was another ask website that you could send questions to. It's so easy to ask me a question. And it's even easier for me to ignore the creepy ones.
Oh, well, fair enough.
When people send me a really creepy message or I don't know how to respond, I simply don't. And it probably comes across as super weird, but it gets to the point where, you know, somebody sends you a message on Facebook and it's just, in my case, it's usually some random guy anywhere from early 20s to mid 30s. And the message usually starts, "Hi, Latomi," winky smiley face. "I'm a really big fan of your music and I really think we'd be great friends. You should add my battle tag or, you know, real ID or whatever." Or I have had people send me their cell phone numbers. And I usually just...
Nobble, stop that. Stop that right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, I
just
apologize right now for sending all that. I mean, I'm just a fan.
That's funny.
I'm
but
harmless.
my reaction has always just been, well, I got that message and I'm going to go back to scrolling through whatever else I was scrolling through. Or in game, I'm even more quiet. And it's kind of funny because when I play the Latomi character in game, I've had a couple people that'll come up and be like, "Oh my gosh, you're a DK named Latomi. You're the real Silver Latomi." And I either deny it or continue to ignore them. I'd like to make a joke out of myself on the internet. It's like, "Who's Silver Latomi? That's a weird name. What do they do? That's weird."
Funny.
So
I
usually
get
just
some of that stuff.
I usually just pretend I don't exist.
Yeah.
So
That sounds
it
very
unfortunately
similar to how
doesn't
I
make
feel
it go
with
away.
Yeah. It's just that, I mean, I think Nobble threw it over to you first because it's the whole like woman topic. I mean, you don't really want to get into that because that's a whole other can of worms. But there is definitely a side. I mean, female streamers get this a long time too. A friend of mine had a awkward Twitch message on her personal live stream before. Like, it does happen, but just you got to be safe about it. And if ignoring people when it comes to that like almost boundary breaking line is not because these content creators are being rude. It's because they are just not going to put up with it. They don't have to deal with it. You know, it's not.
It's if you respond to that, you're kind of opening that door even more.
Exactly.
So if somebody had sent me a message saying, you know, add me to Real ID, if I respond to it at all, I have to, you know, tell them why I feel uncomfortable handing out my Real ID. Why it's not necessarily personal because no, I don't know them personally, but I can't run that risk. Or like, you know, people hand out your phone numbers. What do you say to that? Just, wow, I never wanted to receive this phone number from you. I'm really sorry. I'm never going to give you my phone number because I don't know where that's going to go. You know, I have to protect my private information and people will fight you on it because that was one of the earlier mistakes I made. You start talking to them. They start talking back. They start expecting more and more than you're willing to give.
Yeah.
Well, it costs these people nothing to try to contact you. That's it. They have nothing invested in trying to contact you. And what I've thought to myself is that I am not the first person and I'm not the last person that they're going to send this chat to. So if I respond, then I am giving it more credence. If I respond at all, then I'm giving it a whole lot more power than it should really have.
Yep.
And that's the thing. There's nothing special about me. There's nothing special about them. It's just how they go about sending out messages, and I have the power to ignore it. We shouldn't have to ignore it, but we do.
Sure.
I have people who try to message me during raids. I'm not online a whole lot outside of raids these days because I have had a really busy Christmas season. So usually when I'm online, I'm raiding. So if somebody really bothers me, I will sometimes respond with like, "Look, I'm raiding," or I just utilize the ignore button.
It really depends on how they approach the situation. Where if it's something like, you know, I really enjoy what you do. I really enjoyed the country. Thank you.
That's nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The thing is that
If they're giving you that thank you after every single thing that you make, you know, after like 10 seconds after it's done, and
It's done.
throwing a compliment to your personal appearance in, you know, without any regard to the content that you're making,
Yeah.
that's a little bit different. But still, then you get, you know, you don't really want to tell that person like, "Hey, this is, you know, I appreciate your support, but maybe tone it down a little bit."
Right.
It's rough. There's
Worst
really
case
no
scenario,
there's really
the
no
ignore
good
feature
way to
is
go
always
about it.
there.
Yeah. And then what about you, Mr. Noble? You are the most senior content creator and person on the internet now. You're not going to go into all these different things. I've heard some things, but you don't have to go into that on the show. But what about you? Same topic, and how you deal with that thin line on the internet.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's a thin line. I mean, I started out with solo videos, and like you just said, you want to create a environment for people with your Final Boss channel where people can discuss endgame rating. I wanted to make an environment where people could discuss soloing or lore, and I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to answer those questions. And for me, it's a fine line because I love the subscribers. I love those people that go the extra mile to send a little message, to let you know, like, I appreciate this, I like this. I've never had someone send them the phone number. I mean, that's not something that's happened to me. I mean, that's also a benefit of being a guy, of course.
Right.
But sometimes you do get the occasional person who just steps a little bit beyond the line that I'm comfortable with. When I play the game, and that's my reason why I don't add people to my real idea. When I'm playing the game, I'm either recording for my work, because it really is my work, or I'm recording to chill and just get away from everything. And then when people look you up and just send you a message with, "Hi, I really like your videos," I'm all cool with that. If I have the time, I'll reply to that.
All right, everybody. And we're back. Slight Twitch apocalypse there that we have avoided, but not to worry. We are all still here. And we will pick back right up where we left off. This happens sometime. Thank you all very much for your patience. If you're watching this on the VOD on YouTube right now, though, you just saw a little bit of black screen and then we're good. So you should be here for the live show, though. You should be here for the live show.
Much more exciting.
Yes.
Fun things happen.
Like this. Well, what?
Like this.
Oh, goodness me. So, all right. I was going to go right into some of our awesome people behind the scenes, though, that help make Final Boss an awesome community for you guys to come and enjoy and witness all this great content. So, if you have not heard of them yet, you will right now. You should go over to manaflask.com. Manaflask is an awesome community website that has tons of little different columns. They've got their awesome Advent giveaways going on right now. Oh, there's us. They've got some awesome streamers on the right-hand side. They cover either WoW news or community-oriented stuff. They also have different columnists that do write some great coverage for them of different parts of the community. They have our VODs over here. They also have other VODs. The other side of the website is in German. So for those of our awesome EU members, you can go check out them over there. But manaflask.com is a great website, and we are awesome, where you can find awesome stuff, and we're definitely happy to be working together with them. Also, I talked about this earlier in the show. Our friends over at Fat Boss TV, I did see, I think it might have been Alex, but it could have been Laws in the chat room earlier. If you want to go over to, if you search Fat Boss TV on the YouTubes, they have tons and tons and tons, just ridiculous amounts of awesome guides. And they're easy to digest. Alex and Laws just break down the fights in sort of a very much of a candid way with the two Ponzi gents that they are. So they have tons of videos. They're awesome stuff. If you haven't watched the Ogremar 90 Seconds video, this is really, really fun to watch this stuff. But you can also check out Fat Boss TV on the YouTubes for all of your boss guide needs and some just awesome humor as well. Now, to move right along with something else we have talked about earlier in the show, we do have something very special to premiere for you guys. And I'll bring it back up because that didn't go anywhere. We said we had a world premiere thank you video, holiday themed, from the wonderful Silver Latomi. So I'm going to let Latomi set this up for you guys, and then we'll listen to it live, and then if you want to listen to it more again, it will obviously be on our YouTube channel after the show. So Latomi, what are we about to listen to right now? What is this?
So what you're about to listen to is a parody I made for fans who came together when I had a car crash, and my car was totaled, my situation was not looking so great, and I didn't really have very many options at all. I was very tight in terms of my financial situation. And I posted up on Twitter and Facebook asking, if somebody can spare $1 or $2, it would really help my situation a lot. And the fans actually were incredible. They ended up helping me out of this little hole. And those that weren't even able to support financially were more than equally generous in their kind words and just emotional support. And so as a thank you, I decided it would be a really great idea to make a parody of a song for them but I am not the type of person that writes dramatic love songs or, epic ballads or whatever. So this parody ended up coming out.
Sure. Well, I'll knock right over to this and we'll let it play.
Thanks.
Trot some friends to get some new gear. Think I just might get some new tier. Truck up old and turtle-heeled and Cold need on some green shit. Yaks and chaos stood in fire. Buddy Bear's health sure looks dire. Devil still has a chef's hat on. Django DC'd and can't log back on. Rain and Mary talk mechanics. Tell Dimitri original panic. Jordan Jaden's already stuck. Joseph's only got pots of luck. Dylan B and Megan rage quit. I can't take for shit. Jacob and Kay fight over loot. We still have 12 bosses to do.
Thanks. I made a
I
point
was
to.
muted. I was muted. Sorry. I said I was. I was still muted during that. They heard you. They didn't hear me. But
Oh no.
oh no. Yeah, no, that was really nice.
Yeah,
Really
no,
thoughtful.
I did make a point. I had a list of people who had donated, and so they are all mentioned by name in the song.
Yeah.
Or if not by like their name, it was by their call sign, what they asked to be called.
Yeah. No, it was super thoughtful. And that's really, I know a lot of community members, like content creators, like to do thank you videos and things for their people, but that's like directly to them, and that's really nice. Really nice. So
Good try.
Yep. And that'll be, of course, the full video will be up on your channel after the show. So yeah, that'll be awesome. Yeah, sorry, chat room. There's a delay when it happens that I caught it early enough, but you guys don't catch it until after I've already fixed it. So, yep, no problem. So now we have something a little different over here. This is just a teaser, and it's terrible. I watched this. I haven't watched the whole video yet. I'll probably watch it tonight when it goes live as well. Is that Nobble the Noble has a little bit of a intro for his next video, which was themed, I guess, because of the show. You want to set this up for us, Nobble?
Well, I knew, of course, beforehand that I was going to be on the show, and I thought, what could I do with my little lore videos? Chatroom is now suggesting that I should also sing a song. Let's not do that. Don't want to scare you all off.
No, I think that you have to do that at some point. The fans demand it.
That'll be in the after show. We have to have Nobble singing a song.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. I need a song
Let's
from
not
Noel.
do that. Let's not do that. But I figured, well, it's the final boss show. Why not make it's Christmas time? Everybody's coming out with lists and top 10, so why not make a top 10 final boss list in honor of the show? With, of course,
I
their
like
background
that.
and their story and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a long video, but this is just the intro for it to tease you guys again.
Yeah, it's like a 30-minute video.
Yup.
Yep. So you guys can love that after the show. But right now, we're going to go into the intro just to tease you a little bit on what is coming tonight after the show. All right, let's do this.
Hello everyone! A couple of you have been asking about my favorites. My favorite lore characters, my favorite races, my favorites whatever. In honor of the Final Boss podcast, I thought it'd be fun to take a look at my top 10 final bosses. These are the bosses ranging from end bosses all the way to the Brawlers Guild, and keep in mind that it's not so much about the encounter as it is about the story behind them. Now this is my list, and you'll probably have a different opinion, so feel free to post your own list in the comments. Let's begin, shall we?
Oh, that is such a tease. Oh my goodness.
I can already see chat lighting up. If this one is not in the top 2, I'm gonna... Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
Boy. Oh boy.
Top
I don't know.
claws.
I don't even know. I mean, no, I know the Fire Lord is in your intro, but I don't even know if it's in your top 10 yet. So I'll have to see. He might have something to say about that if he's not. So be careful.
Uh-oh.
Be careful. Be careful, sir. But no, it's fun. That was good too. Those are both would be great things to
Well, I
put
guess
on.
I know which video I'm watching.
Yep,
Right.
exactly.
Considering you've already watched the other one.
I know, right? These little teasers,
Yeah.
these like cliffhangers.
Yeah, it is a cliffhanger. I told him, he told me he's just give me the intro, and I was like, well, how long is it? Like 30 seconds? I'm gonna say, okay, that's.
I mean, you could also show a 30-minute video and fill up the show. I mean, that's up to you, but...
I could. That would be the whole show, but then it'd be like mine. It's that's fine.
Hijacking the show.
Yeah,
As always.
but just to make sure, we don't know if he's in the top 10 yet, but if you guys have been around here before, we have something really special going on here this month. You have the rest of this week and one more week to get on top of this. You can still claim yourself some of the Fire Lord's loot. So, without further ado, I will let our... I'm not going to call him our mascot because he's kind of angry at us right now. We kind of imprisoned him after we kind of kicked his butt twice, and he looks kind of like Hades without his fire on right now. He's kind of, not as pretty. So he made something else to talk to you guys about for the holiday time. So without any more waiting, here is the Fire Lord himself.
Greetings, mortals. I have returned to present you a challenge. The December donation drive is your chance to be part of the expansion, development, and gearing of Final Boss TV. To give you some incentive, avoiding the flames of sulfur. I'll also be dropping some loot. A donation of at least $5 will get you mentioned in an official thank you video and immortalized on my Fire Lord's favorite Hall of Fame. $15 will grant you everything previously mentioned, plus 4 of our custom Final Boss TV silicone wristbands. Donating $25 will have you immortalized and thanked with 6 wristbands. Have you seen the Final Boss t-shirts, but don't think you can afford one? We will be granting you a raffle ticket for a t-shirt giveaway. Multiple $25 donations will be accepted for additional loot and raffle tickets. And finally, our $100 tier will get you everything mentioned previously, minus a raffle ticket. Why? Because you just guaranteed yourself a custom crew t-shirt, allowing you to show off your Final Boss love all over the world of Warcraft. What? Oh, I had to. Of course, if you're feeling especially generous, you can donate a custom amount and receive awesome incentives for the highest tier you qualify for. Are you up for the challenge, insects? Want to head over to the donation event page at finalboss.tv. What a handsome elemental.
Such a charmer, that one. He's a special little boy. Or whatever he is. Giant molten magma death. But yeah, that's what we have going on right now.
Fire Lord thing.
Yeah, Fire Lord
You know.
thing.
All he
He's-
wants is your money.
All he wants He's given away tons of stuff for it, though. But
All he wants is love and affection.
all he
Come on.
wants is love and affection. Absolutely. But yeah, we're doing a lot of stuff here to improve the quality, the technology we're working on the show and stuff. So we wanted to give back to you guys for the holiday season, but then also use your generosity to improve the show. So we definitely have a whole lot of stuff to build upon to make this even better for you guys. So thank you very much those that have donated, and if you are planning on, again, you have until January 1st. So, to move along into the guts of this episode, I don't even know what we're timed at right now, so I'm going to roughly estimate where we are, because we do have some awesome questions to bring up, and then to finish up the rest of the show. But I wanted to go into your life on YouTube as a content creator, and then what you guys have planned for in the future. So I wanted to go on to, we've talked about how why you keep doing this and when you got started, but really we wanted to go into your workflow to help people really understand how much work goes into your parodies, your songs, your lore videos, even your Let's Plays. So how do you create these awesome works? So you want to give us just your history, your story time about your names first, however. Where did your names come from that have created all this? And then we'll break down your time and your workflow. I'm gonna go with Latomi first.
So Silver Latomi is it's a two-parter name, obviously. Silver is from the days when I was in middle school, and my friends nicknamed me. Well, I nicknamed my name myself Silver. Long story about that involving dreams and weird stuff. We won't go into it now. Mm-hmm. But Silver stuck, and I've had it since, and even my housemates now call me Silver. Latomi itself is from Leto, which was based on Leto Atreides from the Dune book series, because it was my favorite book, and I just liked the name Leto. Oh. So I was like, I like the name Leto, I'm going to take Leto. And it turned out that it was already taken on the servers that I was trying to join up with.
Oh.
And I was just like, well, how can I make it mine? Me. So Silver Latomi was born and has just kind of stuck around since. So.
Okay. Yay. Awesome. It was fun to know where you get your names. Mine came from fan fiction that I wrote when I was in high school.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. So, and Anna, yours
but who hasn't done that?
Oh, well,
let's be honest.
Yeah.
Mine is just from a book. I name all of my characters after books. Although my paladin's name was originally Hallie, which is a name I love, and I think it's very girly, but that got shortened to Hal on Vent. And you always have to remember when you choose a WoW or any kind of nickname, what it's going to sound like when people shorten it.
Yep.
And are you okay with that shortening? And I did not like the nickname Hal. I just didn't like it very much. So I traded.
Usually gets shortened to Leto, so I was okay with that. Mm-hmm. My shaman is Lollipop, who gets Lolly, and that's fine too.
Right.
Yeah.
Lolly.
That's fair fine. And Annafield gets Anna, which I think is perfectly fine.
There you go.
But I swapped the names when I server transferred a while ago, and I'd already been using Annafield on forums and such, so it just worked out. But Nobble, let's hear from you. How did you pick your name?
Mm-hmm.
Do I really have to tell? Oh boy.
And are you okay with the nickname Knob? I actually don't know if anyone calls
No, I don't think.
I am actually, yeah. Well, a buddy of mine is in the chat room, a real life buddy, and he already knows this story. Once upon a time, and this goes back around 10 years, 15 years, a friend of ours was shortening people their names, and he was putting EL behind their name. So he became Edel or just kinds of names. I subscribed to a certain magazine here in Holland, and they mistyped my name. So instead of my regular name, they put a B down. So it became Bobble, and in Dutch that means a bulge in your pants, if that translates correctly.
Okay.
Oh, no.
All right.
So this buddy of mine was starting to call me Bobble, Bobble, Bobble. I was like, no, please don't. So we ended up putting an N in front of it, and ever since then it became a nickname. Yeah, Noble. And the noble parts came from WoW. At some point I got the noble title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
And the connection actually to...
Didn't Bay misspell it as N-O-B, Nobble the N-O-B-L on Twitter?
Yeah,
Nobble the Nobble.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly.
Nobble the Nobbled.
Yeah. Yep, that's fine. So now that's some good trivia for your fans later on, because what were you named after originally? That's terrible, but that's also really fun. Yep.
Yeah, you made me tell.
Especially with like video game names, where if you join the game later, your name is gonna be crazy. Your name isn't just gonna be Chris. Mm-hmm. It's not just gonna be Pride or whatever. Or what are the really like the classic? People always pick up the 7 sins, like
The
Go to
Seven
any
Sins,
server.
the
It's already taken. I
Angels,
don't care how new the server is. That name is taken.
Yeah.
So
Greek gods, Valkyries, pretty much anything that if you pick up a vampire novel someone's named after with a long fancy name, like all of those names are always taken. Any name out of mythology, all of those names are taken. That's the benefit of having a name that no one takes, because I can usually manage to register Anafiel on any forum or Twitter or anything like that. Like it's never
I used
taken,
to get
and that's
silver
kind of a
Latomi everywhere.
Oh,
not
now you're
anymore.
just too popular. People snipe your name.
I'm actually
Snipe
surprised it's more popular in Europe servers than they are in the US.
Oh.
I was looking at it the other day and I was like, wow, there are an awful lot of Latomis.
Yeah.
I've been
Thieves.
sending people your way, man. I've been
Yeah,
promoting you
there you
here in Europe.
Mm-hmm. That's
When on
why.
the streets, go check Silver Latomi. Get
On the
that name.
streets,
I believe
Oh
it.
yeah.
He pulls in
So
a theme
boxy.
where he just starts running around some square somewhere.
telling people. Yeah. So we have
I
a
remember when he did that. That was weird.
yeah, definitely. So we have a question to open up with this next topic, which will go right into the workflow, which is going to be from. Let's see if I have it loaded up here right. Yeah. So from Vidius, he sent in a question, or she, asking this question. I thought it was great to preface the next topic. Is do you have any advice for someone really interested in getting into YouTube with the hopes of doing it as a career one day? So,
Do you want to tackle this one first, Novel, or do you want me to take it?
Yeah, let me go ahead. Well, the first step is, of course, or the first tip that I can give you is don't do it for the YouTube money, like we discussed before.
Yeah.
Don't go in with the idea like everybody's gonna love me and I'm gonna get all the bathtubs full of money. It's not gonna happen. You're going to invest a whole bunch of time and you're going to get a whole bunch of little things out of it. And do it because you enjoy it. The second tip is not really mine, but it's from Total Biscuit. And he always says, build it and they will come. If you make sure that your product is good, that you've done everything in your power to make it the best that you can, people will stick around for your content, especially if you have a regular upload schedule. People know that they can expect a weekly or daily or monthly thing. Let them know that, and people will stick with you, and you become part of their lives. And my final tip is from Mr. Jesse Cox, and that's advertise like shameless whores. Advertise, advertise, advertise. Your stuff can be gold. It can be the best thing ever delivered to YouTube. If people can't find you, they'll not see it. So you need to advertise on the forums. You need to advertise on the internet. You need to advertise within your own video. Let people know. You know, if you like my content, why not subscribe? Don't overdo it. You have those people who go after every 5 minutes like, subscribe, share, yada, yada, yada. That's annoying. Just let them know once. That's perfectly fine.
Yep.
And yeah, those are my tips for, I mean, I could go on for hours, but those are my main tips for working with YouTube.
Yep.
And it's funny because I've actually been taking that last tip a lot more seriously recently. And having talked to Novel and Bay pretty recently about my channel and how I'm not sure how to really push it to grow it more than, put out more and more content. I've started adding those sort of end cards. Remember to like, favorite, and subscribe or whatever. And you know what? It's freaking working. Damn it.
Told you.
I mean,
Reminder.
there's a line. Like I was mostly a consumer of content before I started doing the show, and I do marketing for my firm in real life outside of the show. So I have a very, I guess, strong opinions on how much marketing is good and how much crosses the line and becomes annoying to the people who are following you and following your content. And really, if you're not promoting yourself a little bit, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Absolutely.
You really should be promoting yourself in an appropriate manner and letting your followers know how they can support you and tell you that they like your stuff. I mean, that's
Sure.
the people who are watching your stuff should know how they can communicate that to you. But at the same time, if all your Twitter feed is like me, promotion, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. I mean, it's really just a matter of feel. How much, I used to blog more, and then I would be like, how often can I promote this blog on my Twitter before people think it's really annoying? And I thought in the morning and in the evening, the day after I posted is probably fine, and then a couple times more throughout the week, but not too much. And it's just up to the individual person how much too much is. But it's a hard line to find.
Yeah,
And then you
it is.
get accused of too much self-promotion, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
what else am I supposed to do? Like, we're making cool stuff. I want people to be able to see it.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, that's indeed a fine line that you're running. I mean, for myself, I'm like, at the end of the video, I just give a little reminder. It's not on a stream, of course, so it's not really
Which is about
comparable.
where I'm at too.
Yeah.
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 And I mean, for me, that's enough. I'm not going to beg people to like it and share it and whatnot, because if people like it, they'll do that automatically. At least that's what I hope that they're going to do.
I won't deny
And-
though that there are videos where once I upload it, depending what the video is about, I'll send it over to like if it's a machinima, I'll send it over to Michael Gray at WoW Insider and be like, "Have you seen this yet? Do you wanna put this on your website? Do you wanna promote this for me?" Or
Yep.
or most recently, I had the Minecraft video that went up, and I ended up sending that over to Bebop Vox because I know he's liked a couple of my songs before about Minecraft. So it's like, in case you haven't seen this yet, here's this for you. You do what you want with it. Thanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then as for the advice that I would give, my advice is always the advice that I try to stick to myself, which is set yourself a bar for quality and never let yourself drop below that, because that bar of quality determines how people see you. And if you want to be the person that's known for making really great videos that you could probably see on TV, then don't ever put up anything you wouldn't want to see on TV.
That's
Yep.
true, and sticking to yourself, that's absolutely important. If you are going to pretend to be something that you're not, people are going to catch on to that, and people are going to realize that people are not that stupid. So use what you are. You may amplify it, you may over-exaggerate it. Like, if you're happy, be happy. If you're cynical, be cynical. If you're nerdy, be nerdy. But stick to yourself and don't try to be someone you're not.
Sure.
Yeah, don't be wishy-washy, because people will get accustomed to watching your content for a certain like style or feel, and then if you change it up, all of a sudden they're like, "What is this?"
Character.
Yeah, character. There you go. That works too. So we have a character ourselves.
Character,
here. Yeah.
quality, self-promotion, and ingenuity for if you build it, they will come.
Yep.
And a regular upload schedule.
Yep. Schedule.
I'm bad at that,
Consistency.
though. Don't tell me that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but people
It
need
is
that
important.
structure.
It is important, though.
Yep.
There's
It's
really-
important. It's hard as a musician, though, because I sit there and I'm like, well, I don't have any good ideas this week.
So why should I subscribe to you? I mean, it's like taking a subscription on a magazine. If I take a subscription, I'm expecting to get something out of it. Otherwise, I'll just check in half a year and I'll see if you uploaded anything new.
Yeah.
Well, how about then as like think of it like a author for books then. Just because they're not putting out a book every couple weeks doesn't mean they're a bad author. I've been waiting 3 years on the sequel to...
Oh, but
This
I'm not
book.
saying that it influences your
George R. R.
quality, not
Martin.
at all. But it's about getting subscribers to your channel. There need to be a
Yeah.
reason for them to follow your content. It can be
Sure.
pure gold. But if you only upload once and you don't let people know, like,
Right.
in a week or so, you can expect something new. So why should they subscribe? They'll check in 6 months to see if you got another gold nugget.
Yep, you're totally right. I think a lot of musicians either do a weekly, if it depends on the complexity and if they have to use anyone else for that,
Sure.
or they do once a month if it's a larger project. There are
Yeah.
lots of different ones out there that I could name that either do like once a month or once every 3 weeks or so, or they do once a week because it's only them doing it. So it really depends. But once you set yourself your own goal, once you are locked into yours, as long as you make it known if you're like moving or something's happening or building up a big project, put a little vlog face of something like that happening, then it's fine if you communicate that. But people
Okay.
people
Yeah,
like
that
look
makes
at their
sense.
subscription box and they're like expecting like, I want another one from Mike B today, refresh, and it's there. It's like, yeah. But if it's not, then you're like, oh.
Yep.
So, because what people do usually when they binge a YouTuber is they'll watch all your backlog, get caught up, because depending on how combustible your content is and how well they can feed on it, and then they'll jump forward and wait for your new stuff. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. Is there anything, how about special skills or things you've picked up along the way? Like anything that you've...
Special skills? What?
Well, special
I
skills
don't
for
know that
making
I've-
your, like, what about, like, the back end? Like, what do you put in your description boxes? How do you tag your stuff?
Oh,
like,
sure.
anything like that?
I learned that YouTube doesn't make links unless you write out the full freaking web address.
Hmm.
And people like links as opposed to like copying and pasting. So it's like if you want to link somebody to another YouTube video or to your Facebook or something, you don't just type in facebook.com/whatever. You have to actually do http://www, and then it's like, oh,
Oh.
now it's a link that people can just click through.
That's true.
Oh, like that. Okay. I should change that. I don't have that yet. Okay, yeah, that's a cool tip.
Yes, I taught Novel something.
I got you.
But, yeah.
Well, I have a question for you guys. We kind of skipped over it earlier. Do you have any specific goals that you're working towards right now? as YouTubers for your channel?
Ah, yeah, there you go.
Not any specific goals. No, my goal right now for the next
You're
year.
totally aiming for
Just
100,000.
make awesome stuff?
Yeah, it's just stay the course, and the 100,000 subscribers would be awesome, especially to reach it before the end of this year. But it's a bonus. Like I said, I'm not there for the subscribers. I'm there for delivering the content, and hopefully people like it. So it's a nice bonus, but it's not really required. What am I working towards? Oh boy, yeah, stay the course. Hopefully beta, hopefully other videos, and hopefully just expand on it. I made a Christmas video the other day saying that YouTube, with that kind of business, the sky really is the limit of where you might end up. I mean, at the start of this year, I never expected to be on a podcast here. So, yeah, it's interesting to see.
Are you looking towards a dearth of content, like a dry spell before Warlords comes out, or do you think there's going to be just more stuff as the news from the new expansion comes?
I think I have content for at least 1 to 2 years, as in stories to tell, with all the characters that WoW already has to offer.
Oh wow, yeah.
But you mean a dry spell before the beta, or?
I mean, just a dry spell in general, like when you're looking at content to make over the next, say, 2 or 3 months before I would assume that we're not going to get the Warlords beta until at least March. I mean, that's just my assumption for what the timeline looks like. So between now and March, I don't know what Bay and I are going to talk about while we're all done with Garrosh. I guess we can keep on going through the classes, but I really want new Warlords news, and I was wondering if that's kind of where you are, or if you think there's still a lot to address in the content that we have right now.
Well, I still, at least, yeah, it's different content. For me, I still have detailed videos on the Warlords. I still have detailed videos on Khadgar, on Medivh, on all kinds of characters that I still need to tell the full story on. So for me, those 3 months, easy peasy, and hopefully we'll get beta pretty soon and we can split over to that.
Maybe you can catch up on a bit of a backlog then and address some characters that you really wanted to address.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll be busy with the stories. Plenty of characters still to tell. Yeah.
Yep, there is. And then with Latomi, like, how do you do, like, you wait for song ideas, or do you wait for an idea from someone else? Do you just randomly pick your own? Like, what is your, like, brainstorming process? How do you
It's a large combination of all of those. Like,
Yeah,
I'll have a new favorite song on the radio, and I'll hear it change. More recently, the song Idiot Check was one of my favorite songs that I've had for a long time. And so I just combined that with one of my favorite add-ons. And it was like, oh, here you go. Here's the song. But then other ones will be like fan submissions, and fans submit everything from a single line to a full-blown song. Like, they'll have all the lyrics written, and there's almost nothing for me to do. Or there's a couple things I need to change. Or Camp the Mage is one of my favorite examples, because the person literally sent me a message in World of Warcraft saying, kiss the girl, Camp the Mage. And I was like, done. Let's do this.
Oh, okay.
Sat down, started writing it out. And it's a process of, for me at least, I take the lyrics, and if I'm writing it by hand, I have to count lines. But normally I'll do it like on the computer, where I copy and paste the lyrics from the original song into a file, and then I go through, delete, and rewrite as I need to, so that I make sure I've got the right rhyme scheme. And then from there I go find an instrumental, and then upload the song. So at all times I have a number of options, because people will send in tons and tons of ideas, and I can't get to them all. But if I don't have any good ideas in my inbox, I just think about things that I like. And so my parodies are often things that I just experience in World of Warcraft that make me laugh.
Okay.
There's always something that makes you laugh in game.
It's cool that we have like this like break between the two of you, like, because Noble has like really like honed in things, because he has a character that he can break apart and pull apart all their story stuff. But then you have a much more abstract way to find something to pull it together to one idea. So it's like the two different ways to do it. So that's a lot of fun, and it's very much, it's almost like polar opposites of how you make your content. So how long? I'm gonna start with Noble on this one. How long does it take you from start to finish on average to make a lore video?
48 to 72 working hours. And that's not counting.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, and that's not counting rendering time or upload time, because that's automatic.
Yeah, I got it easy.
Well, I don't know about that, because you gotta pull it all from thin air, and you gotta make. I mean, are they faster for you?
It is much faster, because I normally don't make the background music. Usually that's just something I find. Now, the one I'm working on that's a large project currently, I did have to edit a MIDI for that, and MIDI editing takes quite a while. And then it's also a group collaboration, and that takes even longer. And it's also getting machinimated, so that takes even longer. So with a short song like Camp the Mage, where I just found an instrumental, wrote down lyrics, and then made a little lyric video for it, that took me all of about 3, maybe 4 hours total.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did not expect that.
Right? It can be crazy quick. Camp the Mage is probably the fastest. But then at the same time, the one I'm working on right now has been in the process for nearly a month now.
Yeah. Because I understand the creative side of this because I work as an editor and a videographer and stuff. So I know that like I can have a video done in a week or I can have a video done in 3 months. Because it just depends on when you get the content or who you're working with to get the shots and stuff. So I totally understand where you're coming from. But there's
another group collab that I've been kind of holding off on the side for about a year as I try to find a decent instrumental going. It's really hard.
Oh.
Sometimes instrumentals are the make or break point of a song.
What are you looking for that instrumental? Like how?
I don't want it to sound like a MIDI.
Okay.
I want it to either be pretty full in terms of, like an orchestral piece, or I want it to be really simple and backed so that I can put a lot of harmonies on top. And what I mean by that is a fuller piece would be something like the Camp the Mage instrumental, where it sounds like it came out of the movie. There's a full orchestra sound. And on the other hand, I had another parody of a Miley Cyrus song. I did Wrecking Ball, and I pulled out a guitar acoustic cover and a piano acoustic cover. It was literally just piano, guitar, and I think there was like a drum set going on. That's all the instruments to it, so it really became more vocally driven.
Okay. Just to
So you
see,
kind of
because
play extremes.
yeah, I mean, when you have to come up with the music in the background or the MIDI or even the acapella stuff of that, all Novel has to do is find pictures. But sometimes,
Novel's like, just find pictures.
Yeah.
Just Google it in and I say,
Just find pictures. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want these, exactly. I want these pictures, put them in my video, done. Easy peasy.
Mm-hmm. Not that easy though, right? Is it?
Depends on the video. Like, chat is going like, oh my god, 72 hours working hours for a video. It's on average. Like, some videos only take 24, some take 72. It's on average. So, it depends on what I'm covering. I mean, if I'm covering a story from a book, like Dawn of the Aspects, now that one was a tough cookie to crack, because that was a short video, but with no images or whatnot to work on. I only had the cover of the book. Now, thankfully, my brain went and made connections between the book and a certain video. I was How to Tame Your Dragon, I believe it's called.
Okay, yeah.
And once I figured that one out, like, okay, this story is pretty damn similar. I'll just use this in the background. Thankfully, that got the video done. But then you have a story of Rexxar, where nearly all of his story from the moment that he meets up with Thrall is told in Warcraft 3. That's easy. Then all I have to do is do his origin story with a couple of pictures, and the rest just flows into the video itself.
Mm-hmm. Fair
So
enough.
yeah, it depends on the video.
So then between the content that you three make, because I basically break it down into 3 tiers, whereas Novel makes lore videos, Let's Plays, and the Q&As, and then Latomi does parodies, cover songs, and original works. What would you say is the most time-consuming one, and then the least time-consuming one of those types?
Originals.
For time-consuming?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Of course.
Right, because originals, you build the whole song.
Yeah.
With
How many-
parodies, you can copy-paste lyrics and be like, well, here's the meter I already have.
Yeah.
Here's what it sounds melodically, and here's the instrumental. But with an original song, you're writing that from the ground up.
And then how many of those each have you done? Have you done more parodies or covers or original works?
Done a lot more parodies. I think I've done more original songs than I've done covers. So.
Okay. Well, that's actually shocking. You've done more... Okay.
I know. I'm kind of surprised when I was like thinking about it. How many covers have I done? I think I've only done like 2 or 3 covers. And then I had 3, 4, 5 original songs.
Original
at least.
songs? Wow.
Wow, yeah.
Okay.
They're mostly hidden on another channel.
Oh, well, oh.
You'll never find them.
Well,
I did.
Good luck.
I've listened to them, they're
It's
awesome,
easy
man.
to find my alt channel.
Okay. And then what about you, though, then, Novel? I know that lore videos take you the longest,
Yeah.
but then how do the Let's Plays and the Q&As mix into that?
Let's Plays take around double to triple the time as that it takes recording. And you gotta imagine if you play a game for 10 hours, then it takes me around 20 hours to cut it up in different episodes. But the thing with Let's Plays is you can very easily make them in a row and make 30-minute episodes, for example, and that's a whole bunch less time-consuming than the lore videos. And then the Q&A, the majority of the time goes into finding fun questions and finding the answers, fact-checking what you're doing.
Oh.
Then I record a background, a standard one like Hearthstone or PvP or whatever. Very light on editing. I've chosen that specifically because it's a bonus on top of the lore, because the viewers were like, we want more lore. And I'm like, I want more time. I don't have the time. So let's compromise and go in with a Q&A. And yeah. So those two compared to the lore videos are easy peasy.
Okay, interesting. Because I know I've done some Let's Plays in the past of myself, just of testing out new games or doing betas and stuff, and that is just really it's simple. I did most of the commentary during that as well.
Yeah.
But then putting together, say, like the machinimas that I've done, the one that I won at NitroCon last year, that took probably 3 weeks working on it a little bit every day for a couple hours. So yeah. There's
Yeah, I'd love to do like animation machinima, because you know how
Same
you'll
here.
be watching something or listening to a song, and I just get the video in my head. So I wish I had that talent.
Yeah.
Me
And
too. That's really the level of quality I want to reach one day. But you also got to keep in mind that you only have a week, the time to make a certain video and to go into machinima and make that. I think I'll never reach that. I watched a video about Skolemans the other day, the family Barov. I can't remember who made it, but that. If you've ever seen that video, that's the level of quality I want to reach one day, within a week time.
Yep.
The Barov family video with voice acting in it by Kalis.
By Kalis.
I was in that,
Yeah, I know. That's why I mentioned it.
That's why you watched it.
No,
Very
well,
nice.
actually, you tweeted it. You said it was because of your tweet that I found it, and I was hooked. It
Nice.
was beautiful.
Yeah, Kalis is incredible. Did you see her video? Okay, I'll tell you about it later.
We'll talk later.
Let's not
I don't know
derail.
much about
Let's not
them.
derail. We got one more little topic here, and then we'll jump into the Q&A. So, this is sort of a.
Oh, I'll go with this one if you're
Yeah,
gonna ask. If you're gonna ask the question about the YouTube community, because I'd like to know.
Yeah.
Is
Do
there
it, do it,
anyone?
do it.
Is there anyone on YouTube currently that you'd really like to work with? Just somebody that you would love to make a video with. Tell us.
To make a video with, okay. Not just meet someone, actually make a video
We'll
with.
just work
Huh.
with, like
Yeah.
to create content with, like not
Yep.
just meet somebody. Although you can answer it as far as who you'd like to meet as well. But who would you like to make content with?
YouTube crushes, maybe, that you haven't had a chance
YouTube
to.
crushes. Jesse
Yeah.
Cox, that's an easy one. Jesse Cox
Jesse
is
Cox?
a big one.
I mean, I'll answer it for me. Like Total
Oh, yeah,
Biscuit
go ahead.
lives in my hometown. He actually lives in Charlotte, and I keep like waiting to see him at the grocery store. Like
Are
he'll
you
talk
camping
about,
out like,
he'll talk. No, I mean like and he doesn't play WoW anymore, and I know he's a very controversial figure in the community. But I've seen a lot of his content. I think he's a very funny guy, and because he lives in Charlotte, I've kind of kept an eye out because it's not a very big city, and I've been like, one of these days I'm just going to see him in the grocery store and be like, hey, that's Total Biscuit.
Yep.
So
That would be
anyway,
pretty
go
crazy
ahead.
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
if I had to pick someone I had to work with, it would be Total Biscuit. I want to see how that man, his work effort,
Yeah.
ethics, even his production time and all that good stuff. I think he has it down, and I would love to, for just a month, be his intern and just see what he does. It would be awesome.
Be crazy.
Very
cool.
professional, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about you, Latomi?
I know I want to make a parody song with Nim because I love his sense of humor. Although getting in touch with him is a little bit more difficult these days. I also want to work with Kurt Hugo Schneider.
Ah, yes.
His voice is incredible. He's a good-looking man.
But
Always
Kurt,
very important.
Kurt is from where again? Someone knows.
I don't know what he's from. I just know I've seen a whole bunch of his songs. He does like original music as well as covers
Correct.
under his
Yeah,
own
okay.
channel.
Huh. Okay.
So
Awesome.
I saw him at BlizzCon, so I'm assuming he does video games too.
Yeah. Yep.
That can be the only other exception. Also, Pentatonics. Although I don't think
Oh,
I'm quite good
goodness
enough
me.
to work with them.
Oh, come on now, please. They
Their
started
tone
out.
is incredible.
They started out with was it America's Got Talent and like YouTubing and stuff before they really became big, right? So I mean, you never know where it's gonna take you.
Never know.
Never know, indeed. So I think we're good on that. I don't know.
Well-
Oh, go ahead, Anna.
No, I mean, I think we're good on that too. I was going to ask for any closing remarks unless you think we've missed a question somewhere. I know I really would love to move on to the viewer Q&A.
I want to know who Nobble's YouTube crush is.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh,
You?
let's hear
That's
it.
Is it just Jesse Cox?
Are my hints not obvious enough, Miss Latomi? I mean, I dragged you onto this podcast right now. I mean, I'm doing everything in my power to get
boy.
close to you.
What's happening here?
Not everything. There is still an ocean.
That's
A
true,
little bit
but
of
I
a
mean,
pond there, a little wetness going on.
Emil is waiting for me there. Just give me time. At the end of the show, I'm grabbing that plane on my way.
The second it starts growing mold, I do have to throw it out. Just so- There's a
That's fine.
time
Just
limit.
open the door. Just open the door, and from there on, perfect.
Oh yeah? That's funny.
So you think he's kidding, but you're going to find a knock on your door in like 2 days and you're going to open the door and
Like,
Nobble's going to be there. It's going to be great.
Just feed him my address. He'll show up here. He'll be like, wait a minute, this isn't where I thought I was going. Why am I here? That's funny. So,
Well, let's hear what you guys would like to say to your fans just as some closing remarks.
Yep,
What do
before we
you
move
want
on.
what do you want to leave them with at the end of this show?
Thank you.
And we're not going anywhere, by the way, but let's just close out this section.
Yep. Novel first. Let's go.
At the end of the day, thank you for everything. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for showing interest. And I can't say it enough. I mean, I say that I'm not depending on subscribers, but it's really fun to see people come together. And Latomi mentioned it earlier when people rallied behind her because she needed a little bit of extra cash, and she was able to make a thank you video for that. It's amazing what the internet can do and how sweet people can be. So, yeah, thank you.
Very
I have
awesome.
to second it. Thank you. I've made so many friends, so many great, connections, so many great relationships through my YouTube channel, through World of Warcraft, through everything, and it's groundbreaking for me. It's just completely mind blowing. People are very super cool, and I can't thank them enough.
Very awesome. I know we thank Anna, and I thank all of our viewers that have been growing with us for a while. We actually have like a more of an official thing to say on next week's show, and I'll tell you guys who's coming on that show, which is the special kind of Mists of Pandaria year in review episode.
I
But,
really hope that I can make it.
I know,
If I
right?
can't make it, you're gonna have to do that on the week after. I'm
I'll
really
have to
working
push it
hard.
back for you. Yeah, no, it's
I'm
fine.
really working hard to make
Yeah.
sure. I know we have Wi-Fi. The place that I'm
Yeah.
going, I'm gonna be for all the viewers who don't know. I'm gonna be on vacation next week. I'm actually gonna be in Honduras diving. But there's supposed to be Wi-Fi at the place where I'm going, and I'll take my webcam with me and just plug it into a PC there. And I'd like to be able to do the show and hang out with everybody. But there's still a chance that you won't see me if the internet sucks. But I really want to be there because the next week's show is going to be awesome. It's going to be
Yeah.
great.
No, well, and again, if for those of you new, we always announce who's coming on the next show at the end of each. But we have some viewer questions. We call it the Mob and Minion Inquiry that I will dive right into here. We have 3 questions. One was used earlier in the show, but these are 2 are novels and 1 are both of them, and they had the one earlier today. So we wanted to keep it a little bit themed so that you guys actually got in what you wanted to finally ask these crazy folks. But we have the first one here. Comes in from Felix. And,
Ooh, can I read this one, Bay?
you wanna? Okay, read it.
I want to read it.
Okay.
Hello, Novel, you handsome son of a gun. I have a question about Queen Ashara.
Oh my.
you.
Oh yeah.
Where is she hiding? And is she posing a threat to all of Azeroth? In that case, why won't
sorry,
I
what was the
stop
first bit?
lunatic? Queen.
Queen Azara.
Yeah,
No,
where
before
is she
that.
hiding?
Oh.
Oh, I'm not going to say it again. You're just going to have to replay the YouTube.
Fine,
Terrible.
I will. Where
Don't
Queen
worry,
Azora at?
it'll be immortalized on video soon.
Yep.
I know. I'm
We'll just,
downloading
like,
it, ripping
repeat
it.
those 5 seconds over and over again for a while.
But
I'm
where
living
is
on
she
these
hiding?
seconds.
It's gonna be his ringtone.
Yeah.
I need them. She is hiding in probably in Nashatar. That is the new Naga city under the sea that we haven't discovered yet. The last that we've seen of Queen Azora was in the Cataclysm, where she showed up in Darkshore, a low-level questline, and she was taunting Malfurion like, haha, we're gonna mess up Mount Hyjal. And he was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to Mount Hyjal now and fix things. And after that, they didn't show her. They had a brilliant questline in Vashir. I've done a video on it. But they didn't continue the story. Neptulon is still captured. Queen Azara is somewhere out there. We don't know where she is. And yeah, that's really the answer. We don't know where. And I hope that they're going to deal with her at some point. It probably won't be the next expansion. But there's a story to be told there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there is that. All right.
Well, do you think they're actually going to tell that story? Because
Yeah.
you say there's a story left to be told, but
Well, I don't work for Blizzard, so never can say they're going to do this or going to do that, but I hope so. I mean, there's plenty. Queen Azara was as powerful as Archimonde, was even more powerful than, oh, I'm really bad with names, that one guy that corrupted all the orcs. McFerrin, I believe his name was. She was incredible and manipulative, and people worshipped the ground that she walked on, and it would be beautiful to see her story again.
Yep.
Well, strong female character, so it's unlikely that we'll see it in a Blizzard story.
Oh, what is this? Shots
fired.
fired. Wow.
Well, we weren't going to talk about that, but if you want to talk about that.
No, we don't have to talk about it. I had to
Wow.
say it. Anyway, moving right along. You can ask the next one, Bay.
Yep, sure, absolutely. So the second question comes in from Moltres on Terran Mill, which is a EU server. And it was, is there a link between the Lich King and Yogg-Saron? And then the second part was that since Medivh has been resurrected before, do you think he will be again for the final battle against the Great Dark? He also prefaces in the actual huge one, like if Anduin Wrynn rezzed him while he was commanding the Army of Light. So you got 2 ones there. So Yogg-Saron, the Lich King, and then Medivh being resurrected.
Well, the Yogg-Saron, funny enough, if you're going to watch the video after the show, the Yogg-Saron part is actually in there. And there is speculation that there's a link between the Lich King and Yogg-Saron. When you do the encounter, you get 3 visions, right? You get Garona killing the king, you get the Lich King torturing Bolvar, and you get the dragons making the Dragon Soul. The speculation is that Yogg-Saron influenced these moments for whatever reason. Maybe because he enjoys people fighting each other, maybe he just likes to have a party. We don't know, but that's the speculation. And then the connection between Yogg-Saron and the Lich King. If you remember the dungeon called Pit of Seren, that's a pit. Yeah, that's a pit full of Serenite, and Serenite is the blood of Yogg-Saron. And Lich King's citadel, Lich King was mining it. So the question is, was Yogg-Saron influenced the moments? Was the Serenite messing with Arthas's brain? We don't know, but it is speculated.
Okay, isn't there that cavern that you fall into and like die underneath Icecrown Citadel, the Citadel itself, a huge pit, and isn't there some weird like old god vision down there?
Not sure if there. Do you mean Anka Heads?
Was there the spiders down there?
Yeah, that's with the Nerubians.
Yeah. But isn't there the vision of like the boy Arthas? And since you're falling into
that quest line, yeah.
So that's what we're talking about. That whole cavernous, like huge cave is all Serenite. So yeah, that's really interesting. We'll have to see. I'll have to watch that video after this, even more so. Yeah.
And the second part was about Medivh being resurrected and returned to the story.
Yes.
As much as I would love it, we have one little obstacle, and that's Medan, the son of Medivh. And Medan has received the power of the Guardian in the comics. It has never been explained in the game. But my most interesting and one of my favorite characters had his power stripped away, his complete story messed up because they had to introduce Medan. So I don't see him returning. And resurrecting like we do in the game is not the same as we do lore-wise. Resurrecting is very special and unique. I don't see Medivh returning. As much as I would want it, I don't see it happening.
Okay. Yeah, he seems like a huge linchpin character that if he came back, it'd have to be for a super big reason. But he's kind of run his course. He's already come back twice, or only once, but he's been in the story twice. So.
Well, he had his course, and then they made him go back, and that was a real shame. If you remember, like, the world doesn't need any guardians anymore. That was his main phrase at the end. Yeah. And then they introduce his son, and they make him a guardian again. I'm like, what? What?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So we'll see. And then finally, we have I wanted to address something in chat real quick. I forgot. We have coined the phrases for our viewers as the mobs and the minions because we're all part of the same dungeon. Because we kind of have like dungeon-themed names. Our mods are mini-bosses. We call our guests the guest bosses on the show. So it's not like anything. We're not, it's not anything, derogatory towards you guys. Don't worry about that. It's just fun little names. So, because we're all in the dungeon, what you call the little guys that are always around before the bosses. So, but we're all part of the same awesome community here. Don't worry about that, chat room. It's okay. And the final question we had here came in from Feng on EU Anubarak. It was, if you could write or read a book about Warcraft lore, what would it be about? He also ends it with, you can't choose lore that's already covered in existing books. We're looking for new stuff.
I like that question.
We're looking for new stuff. Write or read. This is for both of you. So,
Should I go first, or?
Please go first.
Yeah. Okay.
Titans. Titans and Old Gods and the origin of Azeroth. That's a
Sure.
story that they've been keeping in the shadows, and I want to know what went on. Were the Old Gods there first? Were the Titans there first? Were the Old Gods really that bad, or are the Titans the bad guys? How did they make the races? What did they do? Why did they mess up so much? Is there a master plan behind it all? That's a story that I would like to read and know.
No. Okay.
A lot of people would like to read that story.
Yeah.
Yup.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
kind of want to hear more lore on Azora. Because I definitely,
Yes.
I can't say that I've read the books. Not that smart. Haven't gotten that deep into it just yet.
Oh,
But-
okay.
But she is definitely a character that you even get hinted at in the game. And
Sure. Yeah.
sounds like a very cool character, and Lord knows, for 50% of the population, we don't hear too much about the female characters in game. Even I mean,
Sure,
like,
you do. They've got lots of boyfriends.
Oh my goodness. Don't
They
bring
go,
this
they
back.
wanna
I don't
go.
even. I don't
Yeah.
even need. I don't even need like a love story or anything like that. I just want to hear about some girls kicking some butt.
Yep.
It's what I'm hoping for Urel.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll
Yes.
be really disappointed if they put a love interest for her in the game. They will, because you don't get a female character in anything ever without a love interest, because that's why they're there. But so she'll have a love interest. But I would really like to see her.
I'd like them to
yeah.
change the tables once and then have a female character get a love interest and then her love interest dies.
Yeah, that would be really nice. That
And
would
that-
be kind of cool.
That pushes her into going on a mad murder spree. Jaina Proudmoore. What
Well, I
the-
think that what's
Yeah,
Novel,
let's just-
Novel's head's going like, wait a minute, there's kind of one now.
No. I was thinking
We'll
if they
see.
were right, like female
Yeah.
characters
Yeah,
without a love
Jaina
relation.
Jaina kind of fits that bill. But
Well,
there's
my
the
mind, yeah, my mind skipped to Garona half Orcan, but even she got a love relation with Medivh, so even she wasn't spared.
I mean, it's just
Yeah.
that's just kind of how it goes when you put a female character into anything. So we'll see. I am very excited about Urel though.
Yeah.
And that's just it's so superficial, it's so dumb. But it's because I love the archetype of plate wearing female warriors, even though it's really unrealistic. Blah blah blah. Whatever people say it. I play games. I read fantasy novels. I think it's really cool to see like lady warriors and women who are paladins, and that's the archetype that I've always played in video games is ladies who wear plate. I'm always either a warrior or I'm a paladin, and I would really like to see. WoW actually hasn't had this, and I feel like they're missing out because this is a really cool fantasy trope that they.
Absolutely.
And it's not like I expect great things always from the WoW
Right.
story, even though it's very.
I feel like
Even though it's
too
very
Blizzard
engaging.
Blizzard has actually been pretty decent about putting female characters in games. Like they're not always just
tried.
simpering, crying little girls. So
Yeah.
there's definitely that much. I just I'm always interested to see more.
Yeah.
Well,
I just
the-
feel like they're really missing. Like they're missing this opportunity. I'm not talking about women in general. I'm just talking about this trope of
Yeah.
female warriors, female paladins. Like there's so many games that sort of play into this Jeanne d'Arc trope, and they haven't done it yet. And it would be so easy, and I think it'd be really cool. And I'm glad they're doing it with Urel, and that's the book that I would like to read if you
Yeah.
were to ask me for my answer.
And
But
just to keep this
Yes.
so chat room doesn't get the wrong idea here. We're talking about World of Warcraft oriented stuff. There's obviously Kerrigan in StarCraft universe, and I just had her name and I drew a blank. And Diablo, oh goodness, what's her name? The one that
the girl that goes
the girl with you in Diablo. I totally just forgot her name. That's terrible.
Uncle Deckard.
Well, yeah, it's Deckard Cain's niece. Yeah, so it's they have them in other games, but in World of Warcraft,
one or two. You can't remember their
Sure.
names, but they're there.
oh, that's terrible. Put me on the
Well,
spot
if you're
again
looking
there,
for
yeah.
a strong female
Yeah.
paladin, then you have Lady Liadrin of the Blood Elves, who went
Well, yeah,
up
but
to...
she's a holy paladin. Like I'm not gonna.
Oh, it has to be. I see where this is going.
No, she's in there.
I see where this is going. Leah, yeah, chat's catching back up. Sorry, but yeah,
Right.
No,
Leah.
you're 100% right.
Yeah.
She's there.
I
She's
mean-
in.
The thing is, WoW has female characters. They're not abundant, and we have the writer Neck, who doesn't really do a good female story. We have Christy Golden on the opposite, who took Jaina Proudmoore and made her in a badass son of a... that I really liked.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
uh-huh.
WoW made her go on that roller coaster again, like, am I bad? Am I not bad? Am I evil? Am I not evil? Am I mad at the Horde? Not really mad at the Horde? I'm not sure, and that's a shame. But in the novel, Tides of War, beautiful.
yeah. Good book.
Much better.
Oh man, fantastic book. I wish that they pushed her just a little bit further.
Yeah.
Just shout Orgrimmar and just be done with it and done with that fine line and just be bad. I would have loved to see a Sylvanas Jaina co-op. Oh yes.
Well, I want to push this button here. This has been a great show. I'm gonna have to figure this out in the end of it. But we're gonna be back in a little bit for our after show.
Yeah,
but
stick around.
yeah, to go around the table real quick here again. Oh, that's the wrong one. Anaphale. You can find her over on the Twitters at
Yes, on the
Anaphale.
Twitter.
Yep. Thank you again, Anna. It was awesome.
Always full of rage. Always
Always
there
full-
for you guys. Well, it's been a couple weeks since I did a little Anna raging, so I had to get just a little bit done today.
A little bit done today. You guys can all watch us on our YouTube if you want some Anna Rage. They're all there.
Always.
Always. Also, the very talented, very beautiful Silver Latomi, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
It was
It's really
lots of
cool.
fun. And again, your thank you video goes on your YouTube page after we're done with the show here.
Yep.
Awesome. And you can check her out for all her other parodies, covers, and original works over on youtube.com, Silver Latomi.
That's me.
That is
and I'm
you.
also on Twitter and Facebook.
Yep. That's on your YouTube page, right?
Oh yeah, every
Perfect.
video it's in there.
All right. And then there he is with the hat on from across the pond. The very awesome Noble
Across the
Noble.
pond.
Across the pond. Thank you very much for being on the show, sir.
Thank you for having me. It was nice to be out of the chat room and actually into the chat. Or
Yeah.
into the show this time. It was
You-
fun.
We love it when you come to the chat room every week, though, and that goes for everybody in the chat room who comes to support us every week. Really appreciate seeing all of you guys here.
Yep, it was a lot of fun. And Noble is, of course, if you have not heard of him or know where he is, he's Noble87 over on the YouTubes for his Let's Plays, lore videos, and even more than that. And of course, there's my bearded face. I'm over here on Twitch when I'm not doing the show at twitch.tv, BayTLM. And next week, hopefully Anna's here for this because she's going to be... Oh,
I'm going to do my very best. The only way I won't be here is if I
Yeah.
literally don't have internet.
that's fine. But next week, we have the year in review of Mr. Pandaria, some recap stuff, and we have Brutal, the GM of Static. He is
So
a
excited.
budding YouTube personality. He's a beautifully bearded and balded man. He is awesome. I met him in real life. He actually doesn't live too far away from me. He will be here, and joining him, the asparagus warrior himself, Coltrane of Convert to Raid, will be also here. It'll be an awesome show full of epic voices, two of which will totally overshadow mine, and I can't wait to have you all here for next week. So we will see you then, and if you're sticking around, see you for the after show. We'll have more. But for everyone behind the scenes here at Final Boss, we will see you on Sundays at 1 PST, 4 p.m. EST, and 10 CET, right here. And again, have a great one, guys. We will see you later. Bye.
See ya.